Emily was completely certain that Amazon KDP was not right for her. So she decided to put it on her own website and sell her books from there, which was a completely terrible decision. And that's one of the reasons in today's video we're going to discuss, is Amazon KDP worth it? This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. The thing is that Emily, she is an illustrator, and she had been putting together children's books, or at least doing the drawings for them in order to put it together into a single book that children would be able to read. They were books on fairies in this particular case, and the thing is that Emily had a desire to sell as many copies of the book as she wanted to, right? But she had heard that KDP may not be the right place for her. So she decided she would go a different route, which would be putting them on her own website instead. But she did not realize some of the challenges she was going to be facing when going that particular route, because she had heard about other people who had been selling their books on their own website and doing really well. And after all, she wouldn't have to share any of the royalties or the profits that would be coming from the books based on the sales. And what she wanted was to get these illustrations that she had done, because she's an amazing artist. I'd seen her artwork and it was really top notch. And she wanted to get it out there into the world so that other people could also enjoy the value and at the same time possibly earn a side income. That was the goal that she was looking for. But she began to think that maybe she didn't have the skills necessary to do it from her own website. It was about this point where she had put the book together, but then the first question she faced was, what formats am I going to need? She could put it into like a PDF, but if she wanted a paperback version, how exactly was she going to sell that from her own website? In addition, what about if people wanted to read it on their Kobo devices or their Kindle devices? How exactly would they read the books? This started posing a whole series of questions. So that was a little bit of a challenge that she was facing just in terms of that. Even after she decided, okay, what if I just have the PDF version on my website? She had a secondary one, which was trying to sell from her website. You need a payment gateway where it will accept people's credit cards and information like that. She would need some way to keep track of the contacts and what people ordered and when they placed the orders. Also, all of the tax information and the ramifications of that would be coming through her own personal website. She also needed to understand how to set up a sales page, and what about the traffic? Where exactly were all these people going to be coming from that would come to her website and then trust her, somebody who they haven't heard of before, in order to give a credit card information to her? And this was a huge challenge that she was facing on multiple things. And this is one of the reasons Emily decided to post the question to me on Quora, where I answer a lot of questions for people in her same situation. And so we were discussing this issue of some of the challenges, both in terms of how exactly she's going to get traffic and these other things. And that's one of the reasons I was suggesting to her, don't go this route. You should go with Amazon KDP instead, or at least as a starting point for this, because Amazon KDP or Kindle Direct Publishing, it takes care of almost all of the things that you would need. So the first thing she did was she downloaded a copy of my absolutely free self-publishing secrets checklist, which you can find below in the description here. And as she's working through the steps of that, she realized, wait a second here, I don't have to think about setting up a sales page since it's already in place on Amazon. She could also see that on Amazon, people had already established their credit cards. They trust Amazon, so it's not a huge risk for them to buy her book off of Amazon when it would get posted onto Amazon. And she realized that maybe that would be the correct route. We still had the formatting question, and so she picked up a copy of my formatting course on how to do it, Formatting Made Easy course, which you can find the link below in the description, where it goes through the exact steps and shows you how to format it, where we go back and forth. And I guarantee 100% you will get your book formatted one way or the other. I sometimes even take students' books and directly put them into Juto to make sure that the books get formatted properly. But we go back and forth to ensure 100% guaranteed you'll get your book formatted if you're willing to put in the time necessary to do it. And we go through easy steps and getting the book formatted into the different versions she's going to need, which is on Amazon KDP, you're going to need a PDF version for your paperback, and Emily is going to need a EPUB version for her Kindle. In the old days, you needed a Mobi format, but now you can use EPUB, which you also can use then on Kobo and Apple and all of the other platforms where you're going to be using your book, whether it's Publish Drive or Draft to Digital. You have lots of options that you're going to be able to do. Then the hardback version, which would also be the same PDF, we're able to use that on Lulu, or you can try the all-new beta that they're doing with Amazon KDP when they're dealing with their books there in terms of putting your hardback onto that one. I personally have not tested that out yet, but I know Lulu works fantastic for this. And the same goes if you're using Ingram Spark. But Amazon KDP is a fantastic place to start because we have the absolute largest group of people. And I'm telling you, on Chorus specifically, it's the number one question that people ask me on nearly a daily basis, which is, how do I get started on Amazon KDP? Is Amazon KDP right for me? And these are the sorts of questions that people ask regularly. And Emily was no different. She wasn't specifically asking about this, but it was along the lines of, how exactly can I progress through these steps and do it on my website? And the answer is, this is not a good idea. Fortunately for her, since we did manage to get her through the course and get her books into the right formats, she's then able to take those and put them onto her website. And then you're using some different solutions as a payment gateway there. But at the same time, we also throw them onto Amazon KDP. And the only thing she had to remember was that if she's on a KDP Select, she can't sell ebook copies on her own webpage, because then that would be in violation of that agreement. So she decided not to go that route so that she would have that flexibility of going with both. So she did it. She took the plunge and she decided to sell it on Amazon and on her website. And thank goodness for the formatting course, because then it was able to get it in the formats that she needed for both locations in order to solve that. She used SendOwl as the payment gateway, which is one that I would recommend. I don't have an affiliate link with these people. I personally use ThriveCart, but you will pay $700 in order to get a lifetime usage of their payment gateway, which is the best if you have the resources. When your books are earning thousands of dollars a month, then it makes it a lot easier to make that decision. But at least in the beginning, $10 a month with SendOwl, and you're completely set as a payment gateway on your website if you wish to sell books directly. And that's definitely an option. So she did manage to get her book up on Amazon. She got her cover in there, which, since she's an illustrator, she's able to do it herself. And she got it in the different formats, both the paperback and the ebook version. And she also had it on her website using the SendOwl, which required an awful lot of effort. She's using a WordPress site, but it takes time to learn this, as some of my group coaching clients would also attest to, that it's not super simple to get through that process, but it's worth the effort in the long run once you start seeing sales. So what happened? She has it selling on both locations, but the answer is the Amazon sales were 10 times as much as she had been making on her own personal website. The next issue that she'd be looking at would be adjusting her prices, which is something I discuss with many of my coaching clients as we're looking at their particular positions. One of the things we find is we're charging too low of prices for our books. And so we want to make as much money as possible. And the thing, her original reason of not even being on Amazon was that she didn't want to have to split the royalties. But she realized, I'm making 70%. She sells it for $2.99 on Amazon. KDP was making $2.99 versus her website. She may make 100%, but if you're not making sales, you have a serious problem. And that's because of the two main points, as I like to point out regularly. It's that you have traffic and conversions. And traffic is how many people are coming to your website. Well, if you're a new author, there's not going to be that many people coming. Whereas on Amazon, people are looking. So if your title and subtitle have the keywords in there they're looking for, we're going to drive a lot more traffic. And that's why Amazon KDP is by far the best route to go. And so there are a lot of things that she was trying to figure out, and that's one of the reasons I pointed out the top 3 reasons I'm self-publishing my books, as opposed to looking at some of the other options, which you can check out more about right up here. And I'll see you there. Thanks.